Today our topic is how to master the art of self-control. Self-control is one of the most important skills you can develop in life. It is the ability to manage your emotions, thoughts, and actions even when things get tough. Without self-control, it is hard to achieve your goals, build strong relationships, or live a peaceful life. Self-control is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But how do you build this muscle? How do you become someone who can resist temptations, stay focused, and make good decisions even when it's hard? Let's talk about that. First, let's understand what self-control really means. Self-control is not about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about being aware of your weaknesses and working to improve them. About knowing what you want in the long term and making choices that align with that, even if it means saying no to things you want in the moment. For example, if your goal is to be healthy, self-control means choosing to eat nutritious food, even when you crave something unhealthy. It means going to the gym even when you feel lazy. It's about doing the right thing, not the easy thing. One of the keys to mastering self-control is understanding your triggers. A trigger is something that makes you lose control. It could be stress, boredom, anger, or even happiness. For some people, stress makes them eat junk food. For others, boredom makes them waste time on their phones. The first step to self-control is knowing what your triggers are. Pay attention to the moments when you lose control. Ask yourself, what was I feeling just before this happened? What was I thinking? Once you know your triggers, you can start to prepare for them. For example, if stress makes you eat unhealthy food, you can plan to have healthy snacks ready when you feel stressed. If boredom makes you scroll on your phone, you can keep a book or a hobby nearby to keep your mind busy. Another important part of self-control is setting clear goals. If you don't know what you want, it's easy to get distracted. But when you have a clear goal, it's easier to stay focused. For example, if your goal is to save money, you can remind yourself of that goal every time you feel like buying something you don't need. If your goal is to finish a project, you can break it into small steps and focus on one step at a time. Goals give you direction and help you stay motivated. Write your goals down and look at them often. This will remind you of what's important and help you stay on track. Self-control also requires patience. Change doesn't happen overnight. If you're trying to develop self-control, you need to be patient with yourself. You will make mistakes. You will have moments when you lose control. That's normal. What matters is that you keep trying. Don't give up just because you had a bad day. Learn from your mistakes and move forward. Remember, self-control is a skill, and like any skill, it takes time to master. Be kind to yourself and celebrate small victories. If you resisted temptation today, that's a win. If you stayed focused for an hour, that's a win. Every small step counts. Another powerful tool for self-control is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being present in the moment. It means paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. When you're mindful, you're less likely to act on impulse. For example, if you feel angry, mindfulness helps you pause and think before you say or do something you might regret. If you feel tempted to eat unhealthy food, mindfulness helps you notice the craving without giving in to it. You can practice mindfulness by taking a few minutes each day to focus on your breathing. Notice how your body feels. Notice your thoughts without trying to change them. The more you practice mindfulness, the easier it will be to stay in control. It's also important to manage your environment. Your environment has a big impact on your behavior. If you're surrounded by distractions, it's harder to stay focused. If you're surrounded by unhealthy food, it's harder to eat well. Take control of your environment to make self-control easier. For example, if you want to stop wasting time on your phone, put it in another room while you work. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in your house. Create an environment that supports your goals and self-control will become much easier. Another tip for mastering self-control is to practice delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means choosing to wait for something better instead of taking something now. For example, instead of buying something you want right away, you can save your money for something bigger later. Instead of eating dessert now, you can wait and enjoy it after you've eaten a healthy meal. Delayed gratification is a powerful skill because it helps you focus on long-term rewards instead of short-term pleasures. To practice delayed gratification, start small. Maybe wait 10 minutes before eating a snack, or save a small amount of money each week. Over time, you'll get better at waiting for bigger rewards. Self-control also requires self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making a plan and sticking to it. For example, if you want to exercise regularly, you need to set a schedule and follow it, even when you're tired or busy. If you want to study for an exam, you need to sit down and do it, even when you'd rather watch TV. Self-discipline is hard at first, but it gets easier with practice. Start with small, manageable tasks and gradually increase the difficulty. Over time, you'll build the habit of doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. Another important part of self-control is learning to say no. Saying no is one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most important. If you say yes to everything, you'll spread yourself too thin and lose control of your time and energy. Saying no allows you to focus on what's important. It's okay to say no to things that don't align with your goals or values. You don't have to please everyone. Practice saying no politely but firmly. For example, if someone asks you to do something you don't have time for, you can say, "I'm sorry, but I can't right now. Maybe another time." Saying no is a sign of self-respect and self-control. Finally, remember that self-control is not about being rigid or harsh with yourself. It's about finding balance. It's okay to enjoy life and have fun, but in moderation. Don't deprive yourself of everything you love. Instead, find a way to enjoy things in a way that doesn't harm your long-term goals. For example, if you love chocolate, you don't have to give it up completely. Just eat it in small amounts and not every day. Balance is the key to lasting self-control. In conclusion, mastering the art of self-control is not easy, but it's worth it. It starts with understanding your triggers, setting clear goals, and being patient with yourself. It requires mindfulness, managing your environment, and practicing delayed gratification. It involves self-discipline, learning to say no, and finding balance. Remember, self-control is a skill that takes time to develop. You will face challenges and setbacks, but don't give up. Every small step you take brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself. So start today. Take one small step toward better self-control. You have the power to change your life, one choice at a time.